Hello, my name is Tralisha, and today we will be discussing information on psychological disorders. I will go further into detail on the overview, the symptoms, causes, and the prevention for these psychological disorders. Let me begin with my first main point, which is providing an overview on what psychological disorders are. So, mental illness refers to a wide range of mental health conditions, such as disorders that affect your mood, thinking, and behavior. Some examples of mental illness include depression, anxiety disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorders, and even addictive behaviors. So now that I've kind of explained what psychological disorders are, I will now move into my second main point, which would include symptoms of psychological disorders. Some signs and symptoms of mental illness can vary depending on the disorder, circumstances, and even other factors. Mental illness symptoms can affect emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, as we said on what psychological disorders are. Symptoms of mental illness could include feeling sad or down, excessive fears or worries or extreme feelings of guilt, the inability to cope with daily problems or stress, suicidal thinking, problems with alcohol or drug use, detachment from reality, paranoia and hallucinations. But also, some symptoms of mental illness can appear as physical problems, such as stomach pain, back pain, headaches, and other unexplained aches and pains. So, now that I have discussed with you some symptoms of psychological disorders, I will now move into my third point on explaining the causes of psychological disorders. So, mental illness in general are thought to be caused by a variety of genetic and environmental factors, such as inherited traits, environmental exposures before birth, and brain chemistry. Inherited traits are more common in people whose blood relatives also have the mental illness. Certain genes may increase your risk of developing of a mental illness, and your life situation may trigger it. Environmental exposures before birth is when the mother exposes an unborn child to environmental stressors such as toxins, inflammatory conditions, alcohol, or drugs while the baby is in the womb, which can sometimes be linked to psychological disorders. Brain chemistry is a natural occurring brain chemical that carries signals to other parts of your brain and body. When the neuron networks involving these chemicals are impaired, the function of nerve receptors and nerve system change, leading to depression and other emotional disorders. So, now that I have dismissed the causes of the psychological disorders, I will move into my fourth main point, which is explaining the preventions of psychological disorders. There's no sure way to prevent mental illness. However, if you have a mental illness, taking the proper steps to control your stress and to boost low self-esteem may help keep your symptoms under control. Some steps to follow to help with mental illness would be paying attention to warning signs, get routine medical care, get help when needed, and taking good care of yourself. Making sure that you know when to take proper steps to getting the help that you need to help with your mental illness. And if you don't know what steps to take, definitely look out and seek medical attention or talk to someone that's a close friend that might be able to give you a proper guidance for where you need to go for that mental health. Mental illness is common, and about 1 in 5 adults has a mental illness in any given year. Mental illness can begin at any age, from childhood to later adult years, but most cases begin in earlier life. So in conclusion, I have discussed with you what psychological disorders are, the symptoms, the causes, and preventions of these disorders. I hope that you received a lot of great information from this presentation, and hopefully if you know anyone who possibly has or need help with any mental illness that they might have, that they seek help. Thank you.